Hello, Josh and Sam. How you doing? Welcome back to a brand new season of Weston Super Mare. I'm just about to play Man United in the curtain opener for the season. But I want to go through a few things. We'll look at the squad. We'll just do a little bit of a kind of recap and play the Man United game. That's all we do today. So first things first. The stadium has been upgraded again. We're now 50,000 all-seater stadium. That's funny to me. We're also in the process of upgrading our youth facilities. We've also improved our youth recruitment, although, I mean, it's still fairly basic, but whatever. And I've increased the funding for our junior coaching. So we're getting there, slowly but surely we're getting there. I've also hired some new staff. I got in a new assistant manager because Manchester City paid 1.2 million for the privilege of having Cristiano Ronaldo as their assistant manager. So we now have Germain Lux, who's pretty decent. I'm never really sure exactly what makes a brilliant assistant manager, but I think he's pretty good. Mental, tactical, discipline, good. His ability to judge players is good. So we'll see. Who knows? But anyway, he seems fine so far. I've also brought in a couple of new coaches. This guy here, Mads Regniaisen, and Tomislav Mikulic, and I've got a couple of new a couple of new scouts, trying to get me some more knowledge from around the world. So Nuno Valente and I think Mohamed Naguib, and one other guy. Oh yeah, and then this Russian guy Vasily Ivanov, because Russia is producing a lot of young good players. So I want to get in on that train by having some more Russian knowledge. And Mustafa Yatabari, he was a new one. So now there has been some transfers. We have sold some players. Oh, why is it not showing? We have sold some players, and I will show you who they are. Why can I not? No, we are looking at it right now. So we have sold some players. We'll look through who we bought, but we'll look through who we sold first. Right, so Johan has gone out to Crewe. I just got a on loan, obviously, for the season, I think. I just got a report that he was sent off on his first professional football match, so well done, Johan. Jesus Orfila has gone to Nacional de Madeira on loan as well. The big sad one is Justice Mbele has been sold to Borussia Dortmund. He wasn't getting game time. He's starting to complain a lot. So we sold him for £4.8 million. We also sent the young goalkeeper Ahmed Khalil Al-Sulaiti 490k to Tottenham for a season. I wanted him to go to... There were two other offers from two Premier League teams who were not Tottenham who offered to take him, but they didn't pay loan fees. But I did accept their bids. Nevertheless, they didn't end up... He chose Tottenham, which is possibly a shame. He probably won't actually get very much game time, but they have got a better youth system than us, so if anything, he'll end up getting better training than we can give him. Now, Carlos was a bit of a surprise loss. He went to Porto for £8.5 million because I signed somebody to replace him. Now, the big one, Big Billy Watts. He has gone. £33 million we got for him, 20 million up front and 10 million over the next 12 months, which will help us next season as well. He just doesn't play well enough, and they couldn't pay. I think they've more than doubled his wages and stuff. So good luck to him. I'm sure he'll come back and score against us in an ironic fashion. Then Hassan Mistakovic has finally left to go to Liverpool. I released him on a free, and then he was still at the club for a while. I think there was a couple of glitches. I refreshed the game files and stuff, and came back, and he was still at Weston. But then I've just noticed now he is now with Liverpool. So well done them. That was a good signing for him. I did try and re-sign him. I didn't just let him go. I tried to offer him a contract, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't have any of it, despite winning the Champions League. Wasn't up for it. So fine, he's gone. We also got rid of Carlo Glavina for a free transfer. He's just not good enough anymore. He's rubbish, and I'm not happy with him, and he's injury prone to a massive level. So fine, off he goes to Sunderland for free. And then Albert Palais has gone to Real Madrid for £3.5 million or £3.3 million. Fine. He isn't that great. He might well end up being a very, very, very good player. But we have a lot of defensive cover at the moment, and we don't have a reserve team because I don't have enough players for a reserve team. So he just wouldn't progress as well as he should do. So fine, let's get some money out of him. We made £3.3 million of profit on him. That's fine by me. Now we've brought some players in. A lot of these are young players. So Carlos Gonzalez, he's an 18-year-old winger from Argentina. He's gone straight into the reserve, the youth team. We've also got Jonathan Gogner. He's also, I think they're both actually technically they might both be in the first team. I might try and loan them out. Then we've got Zdravko Geng, 16-year-old. He's in the under-18s. He looks pretty decent, so hopefully he comes on. Rainier Wolfslein from the Super Zebras. He looks pretty good in Duisburg. Tobias Broch, he's another decent 15-year-old. He's come in for cheaps. Then we have Fatih Demir, who you would have seen last season very briefly when I was talking about trying to sign young players. And Peter Wutsk, who's also good. Anyway, they're all in the under-18s. They'll have some time to progress. Then we brought in a young 20-year-old Italian, Vito Marcolin, for £5 million. He is not brilliant yet, but he's going to improve, hopefully. The reports say he will, and he's a fine third choice right winger, or second choice right wing. No, third choice, because we brought in Elias. Oh, it's probably not said Elias, he's Brazilian, but we brought in Elias, who is going to be our second/first choice right midfielder. He's very, very good. I bought him off Roma, for 14 million. He's a decent young player, and he will do well for us. I'm happy about that. So basically it will be Kotnik, then Elias, then Marcolin as a kind of third rotation option in there. So going the other way from Nacional, we got in Hector Restrepo. He's very, very good, and he's replacing Carlos. So we now have a lot better defensive. I have a much better defensive team. We got in Piotr Maćkiewicz, who the scout reports think he's crap, right? They think he's fine, but he's crap. I compared him to Luciano Dagna, and okay, he's not slightly good mentally, but technically, attacking, creative, speed, and physically, he's better than Luciano Dagna. I signed him for 3.2 million off of Lech Poznan. So I'm fine with that. He will be playing sort of rotationally. I think Danny will probably play most of the big games. Then there'll be a toss-up between Maćkiewicz and Abdallah for that central midfield attacking-minded role. And then I splashed out after we sold Billy Watts, and I brought in the player that I've been chasing for a while, Dean McCoubry from Swansea City. I paid, I think, £20 million for him, 10 million now, 10 million in future fees. So I brought him in. He's actually signed from Huddersfield, but he was originally from Swansea. He will be one of our many centre-back options. We have a very strong squad in the defensive positions. Now, in fact, we've actually got a decent squad overall, so I'm hoping that means we can push on. So, what that means for the squad is... Ooh, big sniffs. We now line up like this. So Soto in goal, Nick Fitzgerald at the right, Montignelli on the left, although we can play Engblom on the left if needed. Montignelli just got his first cap for Italy, so well done him. Then we play with McCoubry and Engblom in the middle. We then line up. This is probably the first team. Oh no, actually I suppose Kotnik would probably be above Elias there. But yeah, so this is how we're going to line up for most of these normal games. Mounier, Spencer, Abdallah, Kotnik, Cunningham and Pedersen. We then have on the bench Casolo, Restrepo, Bayonne, Maćkiewicz, Elias, Zetouni and Willington Torres. We then have off the bench but ready to swap in if needed, Germain Nieto, Vito Marcolin, Ljubko Sabani and George. Although he's he's fine. He's getting there. Hopefully he can get some game time this season and move forward. Luciano Dagna is suspended at the moment. He will probably play in and out with Majkovic on the bench. And Mads Christiansen, who is looking pretty decent for a 19-year-old. I'm kind of hoping I can get him out on loan, but he's injured at the moment. So not really much chance. And also the same with Marcolin. I wouldn't mind loaning him out, but we'll see. Let's just drop down to the youth team a second. They're all fine. Okay, good. Do we have anyone in the reserve squad? No, good. See, this is why I don't have a reserve team. So this is our team. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. For once, we seem to have quite a lot of cover in positions where we need it, and good cover, like players who could easily play in the first team. Like, for example, Restrepo. If one of these two doesn't play well, Restrepo will just be in there because he's good. He can also play central defensive mid. So can Sabani. Sabani signed a new deal. It's been a busy season, been a busy summer, but we've had a good one, I think. So, with that in mind, let's play our first game against Manchester United. We can't play Dagna, so we're going to play Abdallah in the middle. The team's going to be as it is now. Torres and Zatuni to come on. Torres plays well in this advanced forward role, as well as Cunningham, so that's good. Someone's unfortunately doing some heavy lifting outside. Let me just go close that window. Fucking ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, there's a guy out there dumping rocks around in the digger. So cool. Pedersen is set to make his 300th league appearance for Weston Super Mare. He also needs 2 more goals to reach 225 career goals. Cunningham needs 3 more to get 50 career goals in the league for us. Nice cup of tea there. So let's do this. They're not in great form. We've had a good pre-season, by the way. I'll show you very quickly. We had a very good pre-season. We beat a number of sort of decent teams. Then we played Cluj, Zenit, and Bristol City. All these two are obviously big European teams, although Cluj not so much maybe, but Zenit certainly are, and Bristol City, who are now a Premier League team, having been promoted, but we beat them all. We did well, so let's get out there. Let's try and start the season off with a landmark victory. So the European champions, they come to Old Trafford, because we are European champions, remember that. Never forget it. Abdul Said, Suarez... No, Abdul Said? No, I think his name is... it's not Abdul, it's something different. Anyway, Cunningham to Pedersen. Finally we get to see Pedersen back up front. And oh, he's hit the crossbar. 1 minute into the season. Big Mads Pedersen. He proves his worth. That's why we should have been playing him up front all last season instead of just for a few days. Well done. That's a good start from Weston Super Mare. I've also decided to keep the formation button up here. Because it's nice to see how they change and see how we can counter things. Great tackle from Montagnelli. England, by the way, lost in the World Cup final against Italy. They got their... After having... They absolutely destroyed a number of teams. They were very good in the World Cup. I assumed it was going to be pretty much a formality. But they were done 2-0 by Italy, which was a shame. But really... Probably, you know, at least if the game is pretending to be realistic, that's how it would have worked. But yeah, so we didn't win the World Cup again. But at least we got to the final. That's fine. And I think they won the European Championships once. Since the game started. We can look into that maybe one day. I was kind of hoping that... remember Ronald Koeman took over the England job. Ayman Saeed, his name is. Ronald Koeman took over the England job at the end of the last World Cup in 2022, I think, or maybe it was the end of the Euros. Anyway, he took over. Sam berated me for not taking the job myself. I was kind of hoping that he would get fired this summer, and then I could, or fired or quit or whatever, and then I could take over. But it looks like we'll have to wait until the end of the next major tournament. So I guess the European Championships, or it's a penalty. So yeah, we'll see. But hopefully that's the next goal for me is to go up to the England job. I've never really done international management on this game. But, oh, Pedersen, what are you doing? De Gea must be about 70 years old by now. Anyway, we're playing with a delightful bit of control over Man United here. Kotnik, what a ball in. Thomas, good save. Good defending. Yeah, I've never really properly done international management on this game. I briefly was... I think I've been Costa Rica manager before, but obviously that's kind of pointless because you can't really do very much. So we'll see if we get the England job, if I'm actually any good at England, like international management. I suspect I probably wouldn't be, because I'm not, I mean, we'd be playing 4-4-2, and if they didn't like it, then they're out. Not even in the squad, mate. Good win. Bloody good win. If we still had Goodwin. Oh, good lord. So we missed a penalty. It was annoying. Probably come back to haunt us, wouldn't it? That would you'd say, most likely. I like Man United's team. They have a lot of English players in it. They do buy all the best English players, but they do have a... Oh, go on, Makubri. Oh, Makubri. Yeah, they have a lot of English players, Man United, and I quite like that. I try to get young English talent, but they're too expensive. So I mean, I had to pay 20 million for a Welsh centre back who was 23. You know, I can't afford to be doing that all the time. I did go through the young players when they came in England, but a lot of them are kind of wedded to their bigger clubs, particularly because, so it's actually getting better. Players are more likely to want to come to us. I mean, particularly now we've won the European Championship and the Premier League and stuff. But the way that things like obviously they have the club loyalty. They want to play for the club that they come through. Often, if they come through, they like the club that they've come from. But also they have. Mads Pedersen's not playing well. I guess that's that penalty miss. But also they have things like the quality of the training facilities often makes a difference, and because ours are still, I mean, they're improving, but they're still not good. Whereas the other ones like Man United have world-class training facilities, so there's no chance that anyone's gonna, if it comes down to that decision, they're going to come to us. So it's a bit of a battle, but we'll get there eventually. Oh, Mounier. Oh, Mounier. Oh, that was such good play. Soto. Pedersen. A bunch of our players signed new contracts, by the way. So Pedersen is on a new deal. I think Cunningham also signed a new deal. Abdallah. Oh, I'm pretty sure Abdallah signed a new deal. I think most of the first team did, actually. I signed them all up to... I don't know about Kotnik. I think Kotnik, no. Or Pedersen get that? But yeah, definitely these... Oh, no, Kotnik's injured. For crying out loud. Right, let's just save his life by bringing on Elias for his... And we're going to get Willington Torres to come on. So Torres took a little bit of time to adjust, having come from the Finnish league last season, but... he still ended up, by the way, and did we watch the FA Cup game where he scored 5, or did I just mention that he scored 5 in an FA Cup game? Anyway, either way, he ended up as the competition top scorer just from one game. So well done, Willington. You legend. He's hit the post. So we already know, basically, because of who we're playing, that this game will probably have a big bearing on... the title at the end of the season, because it usually ends up being like 5 or 6 points in it between us and the bigger teams. So if we can nick a win here, or at least draw away at Man United, I think drawing away at Man United is probably an acceptable result. But if we can do that, that will set us up in good stead for the rest of the season. Hodgson, Solsiansky. United sold Grant Plumley to Tottenham, by the way, which is another weird... Oh, Makubri. Good save from De Gea. Engblom at the back post. Mounier. Makubri again. He's getting on the end of these corners. That's nice. I like it. Fitzgerald, Makubri. Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, take it. Yes, mate. You beast. I mean, it must be a shame for Swansea fans, because their team would have been absolutely sensational if all these players that I now have had stayed at Swansea, which is possibly why Swansea are now starting to struggle a little bit in terms of the league. Spencer's getting tired, so I'm going to bring on... I'm actually going to bring on Machkiewicz, and I'll let Abdallah play in that more defensive role because he can do it. Just because we're playing against Man United, otherwise I would normally bring on that Restrepo. Torres, Cunningham. Oh, he's done him there. Oh, Dave Thomas, he's going to be sent off on the first game of the season. 2 yellow cards. Oh, Davey boy. Early bath, mate. Diego Suarez coming off for Diego Capan. Or Domagoj Capan, or something like that. Something Croatian. Engblom. Fitzgerald. Oh, Radoslav Solshansky. Could this be cross to the back post, headed in? No, because apparently... Are we not doing that then? Oh, come on. What? Go on, Elias. Hodgson. Stashevsky, Hodgson. No, Stashevsky. Good stop from Soto. I mean, we've been the better team in this game, haven't we? Yeah, well, we've been kind of... How have they had more shots than us? It doesn't feel like they have. Anyway, Fitzgerald's going to get a yellow. Fine. 10 men of Man United. Can we push? Should we push on here? How are they playing now? Oh, we could... Wait. Is there a thing for getting in behind? Take more risks. Play it. Run at defence. Play through defence. Let's go look for overlap. Because we can probably overload their back 3. If we can get in there, if we can actually get a freaking touch on the ball. Come on. Straight out. Yeah, now go. No, you... How far do you roll, man? This is where they score. No, Meunier. Torres. No, don't nod it on, you mug. Who was that to? Elias. Torres. Oh, good stop from the lads. Yeah, so we've got 2 minutes left. There was a moment then. Fitzgerald, I think he was playing a header on to an overlapping player was why he did that header. Torres. Oh, Fitzgerald. He scored an absolute belter in pre-season, by the way. Oh, what? Yeah, Fitzgerald just first time volley went straight into the bottom corner against Cluj, I think it was. Engblom, Soto. Engblom. No, that's a shame. That's a shame. But that was good. They did well. We did nicely there. So I'll take that. 0-0 away at Man United. That's one of the hardest games we're going to play all season. And we didn't lose. So that's good. We've also got to watch out for Tottenham and City, obviously. They're the main contenders. But that's a decent start. And actually, I think we've got Tottenham next or something like that. It is crazy. The opening of the season. So we'll have a look. Honours even, that's nice. Makubri makes his debut, did well. You can't, although if he'd scored a penalty, maybe you could. I think I'd have given it as well because it looked like one. Kala was great. Makubri was good. Machkiewicz was good. Rumours you're still in the market for another player. Well, if one turns up. I don't want Borja, but I just said I do. So there you go. Johnson's Paint Trophy. Right, so let's look at the fixtures now. We've got, Arsenal in the Super Cup, Arsenal in the Premier League, Birmingham, Tottenham. So it's a pair of busy games. Should we play that? How long do we have until that? It was 13 days for some reason. International break in there. So no, we won't play that now. I'll come back around about the... There's a dearth of big games in between here and now. We'll come back and we'll do the QPR Stoke game. No, yes, we'll do the QPR Stoke games. That's not too far away. And then we'll see where we are. We'll take stock and see how the league is going. So, see you then, guys. Bye.